Do you want to save time on your furniture flips and get that flawless look? Top coat can often get that really streaky look when you apply it by hand, so it is time to make the switch to a sprayer to apply your top coat to your furniture, and I'm going to show you how right now. Hi, I'm Christina Muscari, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can spray water-based polyurethane over your painted furniture. And if you've never used a sprayer before, don't worry, I have got you covered. But before we start, if you love DIY and home decorating on a budget, I'd love for you to join the Pretty Distressed family. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. The number one complaint I hear about applying top coat by hand is just how streaky it can look sometimes. And if you're looking for a smooth, even finish, spraying is really the way to go, and it's less difficult than you think. And even if you're hand brushing, maybe you're doing decorative finishes like blending with your paint, spraying the top coat is a great skill to learn to save you time, and it's gonna give you a more even look on your top coat. And now to put you at ease, I only started spraying about 5 years into my furniture flipping journey, and I was absolutely terrified, but I truly believe if I learned how to spray, anybody can. Just know it's gonna take some practice and you'll probably make some mistakes along the way, but I hope this video can give you the confidence that you need to try it out. First things first, let's talk top coat. I like spraying water-based top coat because they are easy to use, they clean up with just soap and water, have faster dry time, and work well over paint or stain. And it won't amber over time like those oil-based top coats. My favorite top coat to spray is the Varathane Ultimate Polyurethane water-based in the satin sheen. In my opinion, it sprays on smoothly and levels out really nicely. It comes in different sheens, but the satin seems to be the easiest to work with. To start out, you want to fully stir that top coat. The flattening agent that the manufacturers add to control the level of shine the top coat will give off when it's dry settles to the bottom of the can. So you want to stir that up really well and fully incorporate it throughout the poly. If you don't stir it, you could end up with spots that have different sheen, making your finish look splotchy or uneven. It's important to stir the top coat and not shake it to avoid excessive air bubbles. Now let's talk about the paint sprayer. There are various types, but for this project, I'll be using my Wagner Flexio 3500. I've tried out a few sprayers on my channel, and this one is my favorite, and that's why I have been a Wagner partner since 2022. This is an affordable sprayer, and it's really easy to clean. I use the detail nozzle for my furniture projects for its fine spray pattern, but it also comes with a larger eye spray nozzle that sprays a textured finish on broad surfaces like walls or ceilings. So this sprayer is a good investment if you have other larger projects that you want to use it on. It can be found in the big box stores, and I also will link it in the bottom left corner of this video. All you have to do is tap that View Products button to find it. If you're shopping on Amazon, the Flexio 595 is a very similar model, and if you're looking for a more affordable option, you can go with the HomeRite Super Finish Max. It's about half the price of the Wagner models, but I find it hard to clean, and you don't have the option of the larger nozzle for the bigger projects, but it is easy for beginners, and it gives you a nice smooth finish as well, so it's an option if you want to go a little bit more affordable. You'll also see a lot of furniture flippers here on YouTube use a gravity-fed pneumatic sprayer for furniture flips, which is an option too, but you need a very large air tank for those that holds at least 20 gallons of air, and those can cost anywhere from $500 to $1,000, and they take up a ton of space. There are also more professional grade systems that work with pressure-fed nozzles and have a small, powerful turbine. These give you a finer spray, just like the pneumatic gun, but they also run from $350 to $600. So I recommend starting off with a beginner sprayer like the Wagner or the HomeRite to see if you like it before you commit to investing in one of these other setups. If you're new to using a sprayer, it's really important to get yourself used to all the parts and the way that it works. You've got the motor, the nozzle, and the reservoir or the hopper. When adding the top coat to your reservoir, you want to run it through a strainer to avoid any dried bits or debris that might be in your can. This is especially important if it's been used before. Those bits tend to dry up in the top of the can after resealing, and you don't want to get those stuck in your sprayer. Now, this top coat is ready to spray without thinning, but since water-based top coats are designed to dry really quickly, it's a good idea to add about 10 to 20% of water to extend its dry time. Especially in hotter climates or hotter months of the year, the longer it takes to dry down, the more opportunity you're giving it to level out and smooth out and not get that orange peel effect you can sometimes see with the sprayer. So this will be my model for today. It's my daughter's first paint job that she did completely by herself. So it has a lot of brush strokes and imperfection, but I think she did a great job for her first time. And I need to seal this up along with the transfers that she added. And this will show you can even spray your textured and blended furniture makeovers. Before you spray, if you want to smooth out any areas and give the paint just a little bit of a tack for the top coat to cling to, you can sand it with a 220 sandpaper. Don't forget to wipe off the dust with a tack cloth before you start spraying your top coat. This step is not necessary, so it's up to you if you want to do the extra work. I would recommend always dusting it before you spray because dust and debris might collect on the paint as it's drying. Now let's look at adjusting your settings on your sprayer. Each sprayer is going to be a little bit different, but mine has two settings you can adjust. The flow, or how much material is coming out, can be adjusted on this knob on the trigger. You turn it towards the plus sign for more material and turn it toward the minus sign for less material. The other adjustment is your airflow. This controls how much air is flowing through the nozzle. You can find the best setting for materials in your owner's manual, but I always tweak mine to what works best for me and that particular product. I personally like to thin out my paints for a longer dry time because it helps them level out better, so I usually have my airflow set lower than the recommendation by the manufacturer. If you've never used a sprayer before, a good way to play with it is just to add some water to the hopper and spray it on the wall or some cardboard. Water is way thinner than any product you will spray, but it will help you get a feel for the weight of the sprayer and the trigger. And every time I spray, no matter how many times I've used that product, I test it out on a board before I spray my furniture. This ensures that I have my settings dialed in and ready to go. And while we are talking about testing, it's always a good idea to practice spraying on a piece of furniture that you don't necessarily care if you end up keeping or selling. The first thing I ever sprayed were some old IKEA chairs that my friend was throwing out. They ended up turning out good enough to use in my home for a couple of years, but if I would have completely messed them up, it wouldn't have been a big deal to just donate them or throw them out. Once you have your settings all locked in, you want to hold the sprayer about 6 to 8 inches away from the furniture. If you're too far away from the furniture, you will get a really splattered and orange peel look. If you're too close, it will gunk up and run and drip everywhere. For this top coat, I had my airflow set all the way at minimum, and I had my material flow about halfway open. Maintain a consistent speed and use overlapping passes for even coverage. I like to overlap about 30 to 50%. Your speed when you're working with top coat is going to be way faster than when you're using a paint because it's a thinner material. Remember to keep the gun moving to prevent pooling and drips, and if you see a drip, try to smooth it out with a foam brush before it dries. Just remember that while it's going on, it might have an orange peel look because it's spitting out little atomized droplets of that top coat, but these will level out as it dries down. In between coats, I will keep my top coat in my sprayer if I'm going to add that second coat on the same day. Just make sure that you clean off the nozzle really well in between coats, but I don't let that product sit overnight. I'll wash out my nozzle and put a lid on the hopper if I won't get back to it until the following day. And it's always a good idea to stir your top coat again before you spray that second coat since it might settle and separate during that time. Before you start your second coat, you want to lightly sand in between the coats with a fine grit like a 320 or 400 sandpaper and wipe back that dust. After that, you're good to apply additional coats as needed. Most top coats need 2 to 3 coats for the best protection. I want to warn you that bad things can happen with a sprayer, but most of these mistakes can be fixed with a sander. My top advice to you, if something looks off, stop. I remember a project where I was pretty confident with the top coat I was using at the time. I had sprayed it a number of times with good results, but I sprayed way too much product on this time. I must have had my airflow turned up or my material turned up, and it turned into a sagging mess. Once this dried, I was able to sand it down and try again after adjusting my settings, and the makeover turned out really beautiful. So just know that there is some trial and error involved in getting spraying down, but it's so worth it because it's going to save you so much time and give you that beautiful smooth finish that you can't get any other way but spraying. And a bonus tip for you, if you are top coating a dark color, it's a really good idea to add a little bit of paint to your top coat so you will remove any hazing that can occur when it dries. Once you're done with your top coat, you can clean your sprayer out with just some soap and water. This sprayer is really easy to clean because you just take the nozzle completely off from the motor. You don't have to worry about getting any water in the motor and ruining it. Everything breaks apart and you can scrub it down really easily with a little brush and let it dry. I actually find it's a lot faster to clean a sprayer than clean out paintbrushes, but that's just my opinion. So don't be scared about the cleaning up of the sprayer because it's really a lot easier than you think. And there you have it. Applying water-based polyurethane with a paint sprayer is a fantastic way to achieve a professional finish on your painted furniture. Remember that practice makes perfect, so don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more DIY projects, tips, and affordable home decor, and I will see you in my next video.